everyone, it's Liam Cattleson here with another 3 episodes of My Hero Academia as we are continuing Season 6, which has been incredible. More so than usual. I mean, I feel like I'm on the verge of saying that this is probably my favourite season of MHA thus far. Of course, there is one more season after this, which is incomplete because it's just started, so... But I feel like, you know, as I am catching up to, I guess, my final full season of My Hero Academia before I guess I'm in sync with everyone, this has been really, really incredible, especially the first arc of things, which took a conclusion in the last episode, or the last reaction, should I say. And all things are just looking hunky-dory for All For One. I mean, not only is there essentially 2 All For Ones out there, especially with Tamura there, but also he was able to free himself from Tartarus, which, you know, he shouldn't have escaped whatsoever. Like, you know, that was it. That was donezoed. But, you know, essentially victory with, well, I guess you can really call it victory. I wouldn't say it's more so of a loss for Tamura's side, but with Tamura and everyone breaking him free, as well as others, which I'm assuming we'll cover over the course of this season. I mean, it's sunny skies, really, for All For One, really. I can't say the same for the heroes. I mean, half of them are just out for the count. Deku's in a coma. Endeavor's absolutely fucked up. It's just been a bleak time, really, for the heroes, especially with the death of Midnight as well. We lost a prominent name there, so... yeah, it was really, really rough stuff. So, yeah, why don't we get into the first of these 3 episodes? I believe this is episode number 16 of Season 6. Let's go.
The doctor said Midoriya hasn't shown any signs of waking up.
Yeah.
That bastard! If he dies, I'll kill him!
I mean, the hurt that was there from Bakugo there, it's just, yeah.
Because I am here!
We're getting some Hawk's backstory? Oh, shit.
I was born pretty soon after.
Move it!
Oh, shit. Oh, my God.
I have to tell you, don't turn your back on me. Got it?
I'm sorry.
I feel so bad for
Tommy's useless quirk.
Hawks.
They'll help.
I tried to make sure we did things right.
Diego,
And he just
Do what
left.
you have to. Just get us money. You're your daddy's son. If you can't do this, I don't
No,
know
he
why you were
isn't.
born.
Accept our payout and you give up all connections to your son and start a new life.
Shit.
Of course, you can trust that we'll take impeccable care of him.
But, I mean,
Keigo.
this is probably for
Yeah,
the
you can
best.
say goodbye to that name.
Just because his parents, father more so, just disregard him.
You looked like a corpse when I brought you to Dabi.
Oh shit,
Even
that's
had your
Hawk
identity
speaking.
Verified. If it wasn't your real body, we'd both be dead.
Yeah, I guess it makes
That
sense, because I
madman
thought
believed
at
I
first it
killed
was
you.
a dummy.
And then he suggested that we preserve your body.
Fiber on.
Fiber on!
Fire!
That is weak! I love you.
You're finished, glutton god.
Guess he loves his glutton.
Excuse the
He's a glutton for punishment.
shop as soon as the public started criticizing them. Just vanished.
Bloody hell.
Because they're cowards.
Oh, damn. Wait, is that a support item?
I'll send you some of my own sidekicks.
So I'm leaving. Please, take care of yourself.
That is
I want you
messed
to
up.
know I am very, very proud of you, son.
Keigo Takami!
That's how he got the name, really.
Dabi must have tracked her down.
Yeah.
And by me, but I abandoned her instead of saving her. Even though I wanted to help people.
I feel like he let
Will I
her
make
down.
people smile?
Ugh.
I mean, like he did when he saved my life.
Leave the house. Eventually, my mother relented and took me shopping to shut me up.
Oh, and this is where he got his,
He's good enough, right? All might's too
oh,
expensive.
of
I
course.
hope you're strong like this guy when you grow up.
And that's where he got his plushie for inspiration, yeah. He'd be working alongside him.
There are 1,000 small fires I need to put out. First off, I've got to face my origin. By helping Endeavor, he's in trouble.
Oof. It's just really sad peering into Hawks' backstory, and there is that similarity with him and Jean.
Whatever we want in broad daylight. No holding back anymore. This is our world now.
You punks will pay!
Aw, you feeling tough today, old man?
It's not even like the mic
Fortnite
voiceover, which is speaking volumes about how depressing the situation is.
Decided to protect themselves. They knew exactly what products to turn to.
Yeah, that was right. That is support.
Armed civilians without training. in combat against
Jesus!
villains.
This was our home! We were minding our own business when these guys destroyed our lives! Now you show up after the damage is done?
Oh, no, poor Wash! Uh-oh, Wash is angry.
Infect their wounds and get them to the hospital.
Damn it, man! I was your fan!
Many followed his example. Heroes have begun resigning in droves.
Yeah. Oh, there's the Peter Parker thing. I'm Spider-Man,
For
no
so
more.
long, what does it mean to be a hero?
Oh, that's Stain, isn't it?
As the days pass,
Oh, how poignant is that? What it means to be a
how many
hero.
of us will remember?
Genist showed that Darby was wrong about some things. But the truth about me is undeniable.
See, apparently I was a failure to my father. Before long, he gave up.
That's it, though. Some people will believe certain bits and pieces that don't have evidence to contradict. Yeah.
I can't fight my own son.
Oh, oh.
Hi there, Dad. I'm glad you're up.
We felt it much more than you have.
Yeah, that outweighs
Doing here?
shit.
I came to talk to you about our family. And about Toya.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a big thing to divulge into, isn't it? Because now the cat's out of the bag, and now Endeavor's, I guess, well, able to speak and all that shit. It is time to talk about Toya, and how, you know, I guess they're gonna have a handle on things, because, I mean, it is a very difficult subject, but I'm assuming the next episode is definitely going to reel into the consequences of what he, because that's it though. With what happened to Darby, and obviously you can't excuse, you know, some of the villainy that Darby has done. You have to understand as well that Darby is the way he is as well because of Endeavor. So, because we know countless times how it's been stated about Endeavor's incompetence of being a good like he couldn't be a good person at the end of the day, and now his guilt is catching up with him. So yeah, I know he's now acknowledging what he has done and all that jazz, but yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting, given the fact that he has such a strong I say strong characterization. He has that strong exterior. He's very hardened, but this is the thing that really breaks him. There's a lot of guilt going around with him. He has contended with so much, but this is the straw, because like I said, he's contended with so many things. Stop it. but this is just too much. So yeah, but I think he's finally acknowledging how much of a shitty person he was to his kids. Especially reflecting on the fact that he almost let he you know, with the whole situation with what happened to Natsu, he could have lost him, and then he didn't do shit with Todoroki because he was just so consumed by his own guilt that he was willing to actually let a kid, that in his mind he was actually going to let another he was going to actually let a son die. Obviously not that he wanted to, but he is racking himself with so much hatred for himself because he's finally coming to that like it is facing the consequences of his own actions, really. I mean, I know there is this whole situation of, oh, you're only saying sorry because you got caught and all of that when it comes to people and apologies, and you've got all of these people who are just out for blood against Endeavor. So yeah, I don't know if it's because obviously it was a surprise that Toya did survive and all of that, but now just with everything out in the open, he's just gonna like consider himself a real failure. So yeah, especially because now, like I said, the cat's out of the bag in terms of Darby being Toya. Again, it's that idea of Darby being a consequence, Darby being a result of the consequences of Endeavor being a failure of a father. So yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting to see how the Todoroki family are going to try and help him on his feet, really, because that's it, though. It will be very, very interesting to see what will happen, because that's it. Because I think with, like, here's the thing. Given the fact that, yeah, the Todoroki family have gone through hell with Endeavor, there's also this whole situation of the world's gone to shit. And we're seeing we are seeing a continued dismantling of the hero system. And they cannot afford this broken mentality for Endeavor. Like, the world needs heroes more than ever. You've even got civilians taking it upon themselves to fight, and that is fucked. And, of course, you have heroes arriving after the party is concluded, and you've got Wash getting chastised. You got all of these heroes getting chastised because they're quitting. It's like, we need you more than ever, and now you're quitting, you're pathetic, etc. And it's just really, really... Ugh. So... But it was very interesting to see how how with the lack of heroes, the civilians are taking it upon themselves to combat this whole situation, which they obviously aren't well equipped for. I mean, this isn't a thing that you can go in like you can go in recklessly, like, you know what, I can be, how hard is it going to be a hero and all of that. So, but that's not the notion. It's because of the fact that there's no one anymore. And I am not going to die defenselessly, except they are going to die. But if they're going to go out, they're going to go out fighting. So, yeah. And this is really, really feeding to the PLF, really. So, it is just a really, really, dire situation. I mean, yeah, of course, the first arc has come to the conclusion and all of that, but I am glad that we are seeing the ramifications. Like, even Hawks, like, yeah, he's been around for a couple of seasons, but I think this is the greatest time to show his backstory, especially since obviously his dad especially was abusive and he didn't want to become like him, which is fair enough. And instead of being a criminal or enabling it, he wanted to be a good person. He wanted to be a hero. It is just really, really sad because of the fact that he has tried so hard to steer away from becoming like his father. And then there's the whole situation with Jean, of course, which Darby not only chastised him for, but of course exposed him. So, yeah. So, but yeah, it was just really, really heartbreaking, Hawks's upbringing, really. I am very intrigued to see how Stain's gonna handle all this shit. Because, of course, we did see him break out of Tartarus in the last episode. And this is a very, very interesting scenario with all of these heroes quitting and all of that, considering his agenda against false heroes. So this is going to be very, very interesting to see what's going to happen with Stain. But yeah, it was really, really sad with the whole, Hawk's backstory, especially when you look at Jean and how there are kind of these similarities between Hawks and Jean. It's just that, of course, Hawks just had the fortune of having those, hero agents, I guess, get to him, whereas Jean was just bad luck after bad luck after bad luck, and he just fell to his life just fell into a side that he should have steered. He should have steered away from, but of course, there's a very poignant reason why he values the League of Villains, or why he did, should I say. So, yeah. But, yeah, it was really, really powerful stuff. Why don't we get into this next episode, then? With episode 17 of this season. I believe next week as well is going to be the final 3-parter, because, of course, you've got the season ending on episode 25. So yeah. Anyways, let's get on to episode 17. It's just something that hit me as we are approaching the end of the season, and I still feel like we've got a lot to cover as well. So, especially now that, like I said, the Todoroki family, I feel like they're going to try and assist him as much as possible, but also make Endeavor, face the music, really. So, we'll just have to wait and see what does happen. Here we go, episode 17. Let's go.
Ulterior motive. My goal was simple: to produce the strongest child possible, one who wielded our combined powers.
Yeah.
This was a quirk marriage. My flames were
an arranged quirk marriage. It's just
tensions, and became my wife for the sake of her family.
I'm doing this for her family at the end of the day. Okay.
Do you like the flowers?
Yes. They're quite beautiful.
Oh.
There was a strength to her.
That's why I've come here. You aren't the only one suffering. Because you're not the only one who overlooked our child.
Shit. I mean, that's it, though. I feel like it is understandable if she's going to harbor some guilt over what happened with Toya. Especially if you've seen him become a villain, etc. You start asking, what could I have done better, I feel.
So, when you're crying in hell, be sure and wave.
Wow! Oh shit, oh my god, that is mental.
No fair! I don't have school today. We should be doing quirk training together.
Darby.
Come on, Dad, you said...
He's physically built to tolerate freezing temperatures far better than heat.
Yeah, there's a bit of incompatibility there.
In terms of designer babies, look, the whole concept is taboo.
Yeah.
I suggest you stop pursuing it.
Dad, I know my body better than anyone, and I say I'm totally fine. I agree with that. I don't like it when you come home looking hurt.
Yumi, just as a little, kid.
Get it? No girl would understand this.
Oh, wow.
I'm worried about you, brother. I've made my decision.
Oh my god. This is fucked. The fact they kept trying and all of that, and...
A hero! Leave this unattainable goal behind you!
But the kids at school say they're gonna be pros one day. They don't get what it's like for me. But you do. You showed me being the best is what matters.
Oh.
Toya, no, you have never!
From now on, Shoto isn't allowed anywhere near the other children. Ignore them, Shoto. They live in a different world than the one I'm training you for.
Oh, and this is all going back to season 2. Oh, shit.
Having fun together.
There's no time. You've work to do.
Oh, no.
Me too, Natsu? Please don't do that. I'm telling you this stuff because you have to understand. You agree, right? Besides, the women in our family are all useless.
Jeez, Darby,
Wait,
okay.
Are you planning to go to the mountain again?
Messed up mentality.
No!
Find something you're actually passionate about in this world.
Shut up, Mom! You don't know anything!
Oh, no.
This from one of your self-help books
Definitely
or
got
something?
Endeavor's
I know
rage.
Grandma and Grandpa were poor. That's why they sold you, right?
Oh,
you
shit.
You have no choice in what your life would be like. Son, have to accept that I'm not actually a failure like you thought. After all these years, you'll be happy to have me as your son.
I asked you to do one thing!
My
Just
god!
stop him from training!
I won't let you beat me to Mommy!
Todoroki.
I tried my best. He wouldn't listen.
He's your problem now! You deal with
What that
this!
demonic Oh my god.
Be of use for once!
What do you see when you glare at me like that?
He's a fucking dick.
It's too hot! Please go out! It hurts!
Holy shit. And then, yeah, that's where he died.
If only I'd just given everything up that day. But after I killed Toya, I couldn't go back.
So I tried to keep up appearances, ignoring the
Hear
truth.
me. Oh.
You're the one who put us on this path, and I know you're to blame. But if I'd been able to knock some sense into Toya before he ran off to the mountain, he wouldn't have turned into Dabi, and things might have been different between me and Shoto.
Oh, the idea that they're all having some accountability.
So whenever you're done crying, you and I will work to stop Toya together.
Oh my god.
Shoto. Shoto.
Pardon us.
Oh, you had to ruin a moment.
Into your about what's going on.
I am deeply ashamed and apologize for my son's
No,
actions.
there. No.
That's definitely not the reason we're here. Seriously.
What's he
Stop.
doing?
I admit we wanted answers about Dabi, but eavesdropping is
Oi.
sketchy like black.
I see.
I never got to confront my parents. Instead, I abandoned them.
Oh, again, the
You stood your
connections here.
Shoto, you're a heck of a kid.
He is. This is why one of my favorites. Just his characterization has done. Yeah, he's been just incredible.
Damage. Currently, the government is requesting aid in the form of rescue teams and heroes from other countries. But with
Oh,
the Safety
damn.
Commission in shambles, bureaucracy is getting in the way. Everything's
Get someone
gone
from
to
the
crap in
UK.
just 2 days. And I second what your wife said. You have burden feel a little lighter? Isn't it time to move forward?
Yes. Yeah.
We'll help you, just till we stop Toya.
You can see, you can understand why Natsuo is gonna be a bit distant still.
Sorry for using a private line. It's highly possible that I'm the one Shigaraki's after.
He's put the pieces together. Oh no. Ooh, he mentioned Deku. Oh.
You're dead!
Huh?
Endeavor said that Shigaraki was after Midoriya, and All Might is clearly involved somehow.
Fuck.
What in the world is One for All?
Oh boy. Oh, this gonna get public as well.
Must be talking with the previous wielders.
I'm guessing that's leading to the next episode. That'll be fun. Oh no, not like people asking about, ooh, what's one for all? Oh boy. Well, this should be fun. Yeah, I mean, the whole Todoroki family is just really messed up. I mean, when they do I guess the Todoroki family stories, there's always a very, very interesting element, obviously, because, well, one, Shoto's my favorite. Two, there is a lot of, like, even in this moment where they are gonna, like, the whole family is trying to rally behind Endeavor's back. It's always very interesting to see a developing point, because Endeavor, I mean, in those flashbacks, yeah, he is 100% a complete see you next Tuesday. But you got moments like this where he's just completely vulnerable, and yeah, it's just very interesting to see how it's always done. And also, now that we've got this Darby revelation, of course, it is always very interesting to have these new layers being put about to see how Endeavor and Toya, went about. So, yeah. And it is a difficult situation. So, but what I really found fascinating was everyone had their own semblance of accountability. Yeah, obviously Endeavor was the bigger evil in this whole situation, especially with his abusive nature. And you had Toya being completely reckless as well. Even going for Todoroki as a fucking baby, that's insane. But everyone still had their own, like, everyone still owned up in their own capacity. Like, even Rhea was, like, talking about how she should have been there, and all of that. Like, they all should have played a part, really. Because everyone was like that. Like, even Natsuo, like, had some guilt there. And again, he's still showing restraint, but he's willing to help his dad out, so that's... yeah. And it was just really, really disheartening as well with his pursuit to have more children, like, over the course of this episode. Just because he was trying to contend for that, like, moment. Like, he was told by the doctors, yeah, he can't use his quirk anymore, Toya. And that really pissed Endeavor off, and so he kept having more, and it is messed up. I mean, the whole arranged thing was messed up, especially with, the arrangement of this quirk marriage. It's just, yeah. So, and you can see how Rhea grew just so tired and everything, and again, I feel like with the events of this episode, you could see why she just fell off, really, because, I mean, you can't blame her with what she went through, so. Yeah. And with the fact that Endeavor turned on his wife, yeah, it's just fucked up. So, but yeah, she just felt so helpless and didn't know what to do. Because that's it, though. It just she's always felt like helpless, even with this arranged marriage. Yeah. But I am glad that they're not, like, sugarcoating the whole situation that, well, Endeavor was the one that pushed for the most. But again, they had their own semblance of accountability. Now, it's not a shared, like, equal semblance of accountability where it's like, okay, well, I take 25% of the blame, you take 25% of the blame. there's always that talk about what could I have done better, I feel. Especially since Darby is just a problem in the world. So, and that's it though. Like, I did like that idea of Natsuo just being, like, that's it though. He was annoyed, and he wished he could turn back the clock in terms of, I wish rather than feel annoyed, I felt compelled to help, rather than just be like, oh, for fuck's sake, shut up. So, but he was still a kid himself at the end of the day as well. Oy. And Yumi was I get it though. She was trying to have an upbeat vibe, really. So of course, pretending the negatives are not going to happen, yeah, there's going to be that detriment there. In her eyes. So, but this was a really, really, really insane episode. Like I said, when it comes to Todoroki family business, I mean, whilst it is a messed up dynamic, it's also very, very great to explore. So, because it's just executed so well. Yeah. And again, with Natsuo, like, when he was talking about he's still willing to help out, but he's not willing to put everything in terms of forgiveness. That, like, it was one of the strongest aspects I felt like in terms of, like, that, I guess, mini arc, because it was a mini arc with the Todoroki family, was the fact that they all handled Endeavor's, you know, attempt of forgiveness and all of that in different ways. Because with Todoroki, I feel like there was a bit of hesitancy. That's why it was like, no, fuck you. And he can still feel like that. But because at the end of the day, that childhood is still going to be very, very traumatic. So, yeah. It's, yeah. It is just sad, though, because of the fact that Endeavor just didn't help Toya out, and he couldn't support him. And so that created a huge detriment, and now the onus is on. And that's it, though. Endeavor's gonna definitely have to fight him, not just in terms of, well, he's the #1 hero, but it's also his mess to clean up at the end of the day, because it is in the end. So, like I said, he could have been he could have been supportive and all that shit, but yeah. And it was just really, really sad stuff. Like, this whole family is just heartbreaking. Whether they are more so the victim, like Rhea is, but or whether they lack support and create a huge detriment like Endeavor. It's just, yeah. So, but yeah, this was a very, very great episode to explore. You know, the whole Todoroki family aspect, like, especially with this focus on Toya now. So, but yeah, a really, really impactful episode of My Hero Academia. So, yeah. Whew. So, but that's it though. He with Enji, he didn't, yeah, treat his he treated his kids like shit, as well as his wife. But there was also that, like, protective element as well. But again, he did lack that, you know, right reason to approach. And that's it though. He was very, very pissed off about the fact that, because that's it though, as I mentioned in the episode, Darby was getting reckless, or Toya, as he was going by, he was so determined, and there was just that lack of understandability from Engie to Toya. Instead, you just get shat on and all of that for using your powers, and with Todoroki, you just create this friction, this hatred from Toya. So and that's it though. Like in some twisted element, Engie was trying to protect his kids. So yeah. So it was just a very, very it's just a very, very interesting story to go down towards. So yeah, but the neglect really, really shaped who Darby was today at the end of the day, because that's it. Like I said, it was a very neglectful, handled bad situation. There could have been obviously better ways, and then maybe Toya wouldn't become Darby. But again, I feel like with Endeavor, he's going to have to face the consequences of his actions, and then, yeah. So, yeah, but that's it though. In terms of how, like, this whole Toya situation, everyone's got some accountability. I mean, yeah, like I said, Endeavor was abusive and all that shit, but he also was neglectful in terms of how Darby was feeling, or how Toya became Darby, should I say. So, yeah. Very, 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 very rough stuff. Right, let's get into this final episode, because I need some stuff to do, and we're getting on a bit. So this is the final episode number 18. I believe Deku is going to be chatting with some previous wielders. So, with that said, let's go. Woo!
We need to have ourselves a talk before you wake up.
Oh! Oh shit!
My apologies.
This is just like, I don't know, why is it some kind of like one for all anonymous meeting? This is an intervention.
When my brother forcibly pulled us into the battle earlier, we gained even more freedom.
Ooh.
It's now far easier for us to appear before you.
So we can have a bit more,
we'll still give you plenty of privacy, if you know what I mean.
Oh my god, Banjo!
Fourth Wielder's quirk was the ability to sense danger.
It was kind of a shock, to be honest. Strange that I didn't sense you'd be using danger sense, since it is my quirk.
Yeah, the irony is there, isn't it? Like, I didn't sense it.
All Might didn't mention specifics in his notes. Actually, I'm pretty sure he crossed out the important details.
We discovered I died
yeah, he
of
did.
old age.
But he was
You're
so
40!
young.
Spent my days training and building up the power as best I could. Avoiding All for One. I always knew I didn't stand a chance of defeating him myself. So I figured the best thing I could do was improve
for the
quirk
next
for its
one.
next user. Medical records and autopsy report. That's when the truth came to light. The
So
natural
it's just
causes
there.
that killed me were due to the multiple quirks inside my body.
Oh shit!
Drastically shortened my lifespan.
All Might was quirkless.
Like
Yes.
you.
Yagi may still be alive, but
Because
he
the
gathered
multiple
information.
quirks.
We took what he
Oh.
learned through the piece of course of 40 years, because his vessel was empty at first.
Yeah, no
Cultivated
quirk,
power
no, like...
perfectly, and it became his true quirk. By
Holy
some twist of fate,
shit!
This ability that's passed from person to person could only reach its true potential when wielded by someone born powerless.
Can't be passed on anymore. Is that what you're trying to say?
Unless you find someone quirkless, but
There is a
this is
caveat.
it.
You could pass it on to another quirkless person. but they're like an endangered species.
Yeah,
Few and
this
far
is
between.
essentially it.
Be the last person who wields one for all.
That is an insane concept. He is the last Jedi.
And now the real question.
Oh shit.
Izuku, tell us, can you kill Tomura Shigaraki?
Oh no. Oh boy. That kind of worms, eh?
My brother was incarcerated during the fight. I think his plan was probably to possess Shigaraki both physically and mentally.
Yep.
So that he could.
So Shigaraki would die and then he could.
Me and
Yeah.
him, my Jude inside of you is a grit that refuses to yield to that monster, despite his strength.
Aye.
We believe that One for All is meant to destroy All for One completely.
And that
It looked
is.
like Yagi had accomplished this.
That is the whole situation of can you kill Tamura?
You can't make him see reason or offer him forgiveness.
Lost cause.
Some people are simply beyond redemption. And I believe Tomura
Oh,
is one of them.
it's the thing that I was worried about last episode when he stated his intent.
Shigaraki's consciousness penetrated One for All. We were so close.
Brothers.
I know how hard he focuses on his dream. Yet in the depths of that hatred, I could sense a lost child crying.
Not the dog.
But still,
Oh.
One for All isn't a power meant to do harm. It's a power meant to save. That's something I learned from All Might.
And he's just there, like,
It's not
ish.
just me.
I want to save that little kid.
He's regressed to a little kid just to speak. Oh my god.
And that's why we'll follow your lead.
All Might's crying. Oh.
The most amazing students.
Oh.
You
Oh,
two better
gonna have
start
an
helping
emotional
out.
moment.
You can't just ignore us. We need your cooperation to unleash One for All's full potential.
You guys gotta get in on this.
But I keep this secret to ensure your own well-being, true, but also for the safety of the world.
Yeah, the safety of the world is not a factor at this moment.
So quickly. And these two aren't the types to back down. We should talk somewhere private. I'll tell you everything.
Holy shit. Holy shit.
To the press at length about his family's ugly past and ask the world to forgive him.
Oh man.
Some people
That's
won't.
the end of his pro career.
He really was like, yep, he's cancelled.
I don't think you understand how much you screwed up.
Oh,
It was the
damn, they
villains who
are
did
getting
this, sure, but
grilled.
The only reason they were able to wreak havoc on such a scale is because of your mistakes.
If we stood up here crying and carrying on, would that make your mother better?
Huh? No, of course it wouldn't.
Bloody
But you can't do
hell!
something besides-
For anyone who is scared or seeking protection, families of enrolled students are already moving into these buildings.
Is that Bakugo's mom and Deku's mom? Oh my god!
We're looking toward the future.
I need to see how they get on.
I had a letter from Midoriya on my door.
Yeah, we know. Us too.
What?
All for One? The villains are after him?
Doesn't make any sense.
Poor Midoriya.
Oh shit.
So they're coming after me. The last
He's
thing I
really
want to do was put others in danger.
telling
It's
his
dangerous
story
being
to
in
them.
So I'm leaving UA.
Oh
Leaving
my
here, of course,
god!
and leaving every-
Then who will be willing to follow them when they're suffering?
This is the hard path for him.
In April, Deku left our hero academy.
A huge villain.
The final act begins. Okay. Alright. Oh no. More so thinking it's not the final act of this, of course, season. They don't usually go that dramatic. It's more so the final act of My Hero Academia, right? Which is crazy because I think we've got another couple of seasons left to go, but I mean, that's it. We've got another couple of seasons left to go, I would imagine, because obviously season 7's still ongoing. And I do expect, like, obviously with the whole Shigaraki Deku situation, I do expect things to wrap up by season 8, because I think they are coming to the culmination in manga of My Hero Academia. So we'll see, because obviously there's that final act shit. Like I said, I think that's more so the culmination, that's the final act of My Hero Academia as an entirety. So yeah. Yeah, it is very, very interesting, though, going into that whole situation. Yeah, like, especially with the whole, with the whole, like, concept on dealing with Shigaraki. And how Deku was understanding, like, why did they become, heroes in the first place. And there's this whole mentality on, wanting to understand them, wanting to reason with, well, not so much reason with them, like, oh, we forgive you for what you did, because especially with Shigaraki, you can't really atone for that. But he does want to make sure that he is saved from All for One. Obviously, there is that idea of One for All being intent to kill All for One. But like the quirk itself and how it's manifested from person to person, so has the idea. It's not much killing All for One, but trying to save Shigaraki. So, and you see the impressions that he made in regards to most of the users. Of course, there were a couple who I believe Deku hasn't inherited the quirks from, that, did not react and all of that. Like I said, it's to be expected, I guess, given that he hasn't really tapped into those powers yet. But yeah, I want to see what Bakugo and Todoroki's reaction was to Deku leaving. Especially with Bakugo, like, being so pissed that Deku wasn't waking up. Now he's I mean, and not just that though, but Bakugo is the only other person until now that found out about that he found out about One for All. So it would be very, very I'm assuming we'll cover that next week. But yeah, it was very, very amazing to go into this whole situation about One for All. Especially when you talk about the fact that you have 2 of the users that died of old age, and yet one of them was 40 years old, which I wouldn't consider that old age. So yeah, but of course we found out why they died of natural causes, and it makes sense, especially if you already have an active quirk and you have One for All combating with that. It's like it's like overloading a PC. Really, you're gonna potentially drain its life expectancy, right? Same with that. Like, you've already got something powerful brewing inside you, essentially, and you've got One for All to combine with that. So, but yeah, it was just really, really interesting to basically have the idea that, well, because All Might was quirkless, of course, and it was very, very fortunate. It's another reason, because he did say, like, he did have his reasons why he, but it wasn't, of course, oh, it's because you're quirkless and it's a perfect match. Because I'm assuming, I don't know, I'm just assuming. I'm assuming that it may have been the end of the line for Toshinori if he couldn't find a successor that was quirkless and all of that. So yeah, but then again, I guess with Toshinori, that this was, considering how long he had One for All, this was an abnormality. How is he still living? He should be dead by now, right? So it was more so an abnormality. But it also gives a really, really Well, to be fair, wasn't Mirio supposed to get one for all? Good job he didn't, considering he already had a quirk there. So, but we have basically that idea that, yeah, we basically have the idea that, well, he can't pass it on to anyone who has a quirk anymore, unless, and he might be the last person to wield one for all, unless he does find another quirkless person. So. Yeah, but it's just very, very, yeah, it's just very, very insane. So, yeah, but of course, I am very, very heartbroken as well with what Deku had to do, like leave letters and all of that. And this was more so of a protective reasoning. It's not because of anything like how he failed or anything like that. It's a protective reasoning. Especially when you consider how he aspired to go to UA, and now he has to leave that behind in order to protect his friends, to protect his loved ones. So it is a sad situation. I mean, it was pretty shocking how he revealed it all, and all of that. But I guess it's also very, very apt with like the locals asking about, hey, what's the deal with this one for all? So it's making headlines now, and yeah, as well as of course the truth being out there for Endeavor, for Hawks, getting different reactions, of course, understandably, because you're gonna get different reactions. So. Yeah, I mean, I felt so bad for Uraraka. Like I said, we've got to see Bakugo and Todoroki's reaction, so yeah. But I am very intrigued to see where things are going to go with Deku coming up in this arc, where he's just soloing it. It's like he's going all vigilante, really, so My Vigilante Academia. We had My Villain Academia this time last season. My Vigilante Academia, right? Come on. Except you can't really have the academia, but you couldn't really for the villains in a sense. I don't know. But yeah, it looks like he's going about this alone. And yeah, it's all for his own good, really, because he doesn't want to put anyone else's lives in danger. Which I also do feel like this is also stemming from the trauma of what happened, of course, with the first act of this season, as well as the fact that well, I mean, it's not just like with who got vulnerable and all of that, with obviously the UA reeling from midnight, Bakugo got stabbed, etc, etc. I'm assuming that's also playing a part, obviously, with Shigaraki in the know about One for All and wanting to take it, and the people asking what is the deal with One for All. There is a huge semblance of I've got to protect my loved one so Shigaraki cannot reach them. But again, I feel like there's also factors that stemmed from the first act in terms of I don't want Bakugo to get stabbed again. I don't want Todoroki to nearly die from Dabi's hand. I don't want this and that to happen ever again. So, yeah, some might blend them to mean the same thing, but I mean, you can just eliminate the notion that Shigaraki is after One for All, and yeah. But at the end of the day, like I said, you can blend them together because of the fact that Shigaraki is after One for All. And his friends are going to protect him no matter what. If Deku stays in one location, yeah, it will. He doesn't want to see Bakugo stabbed again, so yeah. But yeah, it was just really, really amazing. Like, especially with Deku just convincing. Like, the council of One for All, I guess you could call them. They were so on board, like, kill Shigaraki. So, but the way that Deku was just trying to convince everyone that I can save him is just powerful. I don't think he is going to be able to be saved. But I guess that's it's not so much about is it possible for him to be saved. It's more so speaking about Deku's heart and being in the right place. Like, he reflected on past villains and why they became villains in the first place, and wants to, you know, save someone who was a vulnerable little boy being influenced by this greater demon. He wants to be able to save that little boy. So, not that it's gonna happen, but it's the heart that counts. It's the thought that counts, really. So, yeah. But I do like the idea that Deku is going to be the last, and I think they are going to stick to it. They're not going to find, you know, anyone quirkless like next generation of My Hero Academia and be like, now it's your turn. I do like the idea that Deku is going to be the last one. So he has to be the one to stop All for One. So, as well as the fact that we're on the final stretch, we're on the final act of My Hero Academia, so, yeah. But it is a very, very interesting idea that, Deku was the only one, really, that could really have it, without, you know, fucking up anyone's life expectancy, right? So, but I really, really thought that this was a really great, solid 3 episodes. Like I said, this season has been absolutely killer in the best possible ways. I really loved this one. This was a really, really amazing. This was a really, really amazing 3 episodes again, and this season's just been chef kiss all throughout. So, and I'm excited to see where this next, I guess, arc is going to take us, which I'm assuming is going to run until the very last episode. Like I said, I think the next bunch of episodes are going to be the last 3-parter until we reach season 7, just with the same, you know, model that season 5 encompassed. So, yeah, but yeah, I will see you guys next time. Hope you guys enjoyed these reactions. You can check my videos on the right if you want to check out more of my content. You could also subscribe to my media feeds and channel if you want to. Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. Hope you guys take care, and I will see you guys next time. Toodles!